The 1240s were a tumultuous decade for the people of Eastern Europe and the Middle East. As the Mongol horde swept across the steppes and forests, no one seemed immune to their fury. Cities fell like dominoes, and kingdoms crumbled under the weight of Mongol ingenuity and relentless warfare. Yet amidst the terror, some leaders dared to strategize, to resist, and against all odds, survive. This is a tale of one such defense, a desperate, ingenious stand against the greatest military machine of the medieval world. It was 1241, and the Mongols, led by the ruthless general Subutai, had already devastated much of Russia. Their disciplined armies, with horse archers, siege engines, and a mastery of psychological warfare, seemed unstoppable. Word had reached the kingdom of Hungary that the horde was advancing westward, and King Béla IV realized that his realm was next. Hungary's terrain was varied, vast plains in the east, rivers crisscrossing the heartlands, and mountains guarding the west. Béla knew that relying on the open plains would be suicidal against the Mongols' swift cavalry. He needed a strategy to counter their speed, mitigate their numbers, and turn the terrain to his advantage. Béla IV summoned his nobles, peasants, and mercenaries, rallying an army of around 80,000 men, an eclectic force that included knights, infantry, and light cavalry. However, he knew that numbers alone wouldn't suffice, so he focused on fortifications and logistics. First, fortifying key cities. Béla ordered towns like Pest and Esztergom to strengthen their walls. Garrisons stocked provisions for prolonged sieges. Engineers were employed to construct wooden barriers and moats in vulnerable areas. Second, scorched earth tactics. Along the likely invasion routes, villages were evacuated and supplies burned. The idea was to deny the Mongols food and resources, forcing them to stretch their supply lines. Third, alliance-seeking Béla sent envoys to the Pope, Holy Roman Emperor, and nearby kingdoms pleading for reinforcements. While most were too embroiled in their own conflicts, small bands of knights from Poland and Bohemia answered the call. In March 1241, the Mongols crossed the Carpathian Mountains, splitting their forces into 3 columns to sow confusion. Subutai's cunning plan was to lure Béla's army into open battle, where the Mongols' mobility and coordination would ensure victory. Béla, however, refused to take the bait. He ordered his forces to retreat behind fortified positions, hoping to buy time and exhaust the invaders. The Mongols, frustrated by the slow pace of their campaign, began to press harder, launching lightning raids on outlying villages and smaller fortifications. Despite his precautions, Béla knew he couldn't avoid a direct confrontation forever. On April 11th, 1241, the Mongols engaged the Hungarian army at the Sajo River near Mohi. The Hungarians had erected a makeshift palisade to protect their camp and positioned archers along the riverbank. Initially, their defense seemed effective. Mongol horse archers, unable to cross the river easily, suffered losses under the Hungarian volleys. But Subutai was a master tactician. He feigned a retreat, drawing a significant portion of the Hungarian cavalry into pursuit. Meanwhile, another Mongol detachment circled around and found a ford upstream, crossing the river unnoticed. At dawn, they struck the Hungarian flank with devastating force. Inside the camp, chaos reigned. The palisades offered little protection against the Mongols' incendiary weapons. Béla narrowly escaped with his life, fleeing to the Adriatic coast, but his army was annihilated. Despite the catastrophic loss at Mohi, Hungary did not fall completely. The fortified cities proved resilient, and the Mongols, stretched thin and suffering from supply issues, were unable to conquer the entire kingdom. Moreover, news of the great Khan Ogedei's death in late 1241 forced the Mongols to retreat eastward to participate in the power struggle for succession. Béla IV learned valuable lessons from the invasion. In the years that followed, he spearheaded the construction of stone castles and improved Hungary's defensive infrastructure. He also encouraged the settlement of Cumans, a nomadic people skilled in mounted warfare, to bolster his army. While Béla's strategy had merit, it was reactive rather than proactive. A more effective approach might have included 1. Early ambushes. Using the forests and mountains to ambush Mongol scouting parties could have disrupted their intelligence gathering. 2. Guerrilla warfare. Small, mobile units harassing Mongol supply lines might have slowed their advance significantly. 3. A unified European response. If neighboring kingdoms had heeded Béla's calls for aid, a combined force might have turned the tide. The Mongol invasion of the 1240s was a stark reminder of their overwhelming power and the need for adaptability in medieval warfare. While the Hungarians suffered greatly, their resilience and the lessons they learned from the conflict laid the groundwork for a stronger kingdom in the years to come. This story is not just about defeat, but about survival against an unstoppable force, an enduring lesson in strategy and determination.